Have you ever stepped outside on a perfectly quiet, cloudless night, looked up at the vast canopy of the stars, and felt an inexplicable sense of being watched back? Have you ever wondered how it is possible that out of the cold, silent vacuum of space, out of swirling, ancient clouds of lifeless hydrogen and helium gas, something as profoundly complex and mysterious as your own mind could emerge? We often look at the universe as a grand mechanical clockwork of physical laws, a silent theater of dead matter expanding infinitely into the dark. Yet, here we are, conscious beings made of that very same matter, capable of looking back at the stars and asking deep questions about our own existence. It is one of the most beautiful and unsettling paradoxes in the entirety of modern science. How does unconscious dust wake up and begin to think? Does consciousness arise only in the warm, wet neural pathways of a biological brain, or is it a fundamental property of the fabric of reality itself? Could the universe, in its unimaginable vastness, possess a form of awareness that we are only just beginning to comprehend? This quiet journey we are about to embark upon together will take us to the very edge of physics, neuroscience, and philosophy, exploring the profound mystery of whether the cosmos itself might be conscious. But before we delve deeper into this cosmic mystery, I want to take a brief moment to welcome you into this space of contemplation. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a true privilege to be your guide on these quiet journeys through the wonders of the universe. I have noticed from our recent data that 71% of the people who find comfort and curiosity in these nighttime explorations have not yet subscribed to the channel. If these gentle explorations of science and the cosmos bring you a sense of peace and wonder, please consider subscribing. It helps our small community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it lets me know that you want to keep exploring the infinite mysteries of the universe together. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Now, let us return to the stars and to the quiet mysteries they hold. Let us begin our exploration by traveling backward through the vast river of time, returning to a moment nearly 14 billion years ago. In the absolute beginning, there was no consciousness as we understand it today. There were no minds, no thoughts, no eyes to behold the majesty of creation. There was only an unimaginable density of raw, blazing energy expanding outward in the event we call the Big Bang. In those first few fractions of a second, the universe was too hot, too chaotic, and too violently energetic for even the simplest atoms to exist. It was a primordial soup of fundamental particles, a silent roar of creation where light itself could not travel freely through the dense fog of early matter. But as the cosmos expanded, it also began to cool. This gentle cooling, a process that would define the entire future history of the universe, allowed the fundamental forces of nature to sculpt order out of absolute chaos. Protons and neutrons finally found each other in the dark, binding together to form the very first nuclei of hydrogen and helium. For hundreds of thousands of years, the universe was a dark, expanding cloud of these simple elements. Then, slowly, gravity began to work its invisible magic over enormous distances. It pulled these vast clouds of primordial gas together, drawing them into denser and denser structures until the pressure and temperature at their cores became so incredibly intense that nuclear fusion ignited. The universe was suddenly illuminated by the birth of the very first stars. These ancient stellar giants lived furious, brilliant lives, and in their fiery hearts they performed the most crucial alchemy in the history of existence. They took the simple atoms of hydrogen and helium and smashed them together with such unbelievable force that they forged entirely new, heavier elements. Carbon, the fundamental building block of all known biology. Oxygen, the breath of life. Iron, the heavy element that runs through your blood and carries oxygen to your brain. When these massive ancient stars eventually died, they did not just fade quietly into the cosmic night. They exploded in spectacular events known as supernovas, scattering their newly forged elemental riches across the immense voids of interstellar space. These heavy elements drifted through the silence of the galaxy for billions of years, mixing with new clouds of gas and dust. Eventually, one of these enriched clouds began to collapse under its own weight, forming a new star, our sun, and a swirling disk of debris that would eventually coalesce into the planets of our solar system. The Earth, with its vast oceans and continents, its protective atmosphere, and its eventual abundance of life, is made entirely of this ancient, recycled star stuff. The late, great astronomer Carl Sagan famously captured the profound beauty of this scientific truth when he said that we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. This is not merely a piece of poetic imagery designed to make us feel connected. It is a literal, rigorously proven fact of astrophysics and chemistry. The atoms that currently compose your physical form, the molecules that make up the neurons firing in your brain as you process these very words, were forged in the hearts of distant dying stars long before the Earth even existed. You are not an isolated entity placed into the universe from the outside. You are an organic, seamless extension of the universe itself. You are what happens when simple hydrogen gas is given 14 billion years of cosmic evolution. But how does that transition actually happen? How do heavy elements forged in the unthinking, chaotic hearts of exploding stars eventually arrange themselves into a biological structure capable of feeling joy, contemplating infinity, or wondering about its own origins? In science, this profound mystery is often approached through the concept of emergence. Emergence is a physical phenomenon where a complex system develops new properties that its individual constituent parts simply do not possess. Consider a single molecule of water. It is composed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. If you study a single water molecule in complete isolation using the most powerful microscopes imaginable, you will find no evidence whatsoever of the property we call wetness. Wetness is not a physical property of hydrogen, nor is it a property of oxygen. It is only when billions upon billions of these water molecules come together, interacting according to the fundamental laws of physics and chemistry under specific environmental conditions of temperature and pressure, that the property of wetness suddenly emerges into reality. It is a collective behavior, a symphony of microscopic interactions that creates something entirely new and unpredictable from the bottom up. Now, take this concept of emergence and scale it up to the most complex structure we have ever discovered in the entire observable universe, the human brain. Your brain is a vast, interconnected universe unto itself. It contains approximately 86 billion individual neurons. To put that staggering number into perspective, there are roughly as many stars in our entire Milky Way galaxy as there are neurons inside your head. But the true complexity of the brain lies not just in the sheer number of these specialized cells, but in the intricate connections between them. Each individual neuron can form thousands of distinct connections, known as synapses, with its neighboring cells. In total, a single, healthy human brain contains hundreds of trillions of these delicate synaptic connections. Within this vast, microscopic forest of living circuitry, electrical impulses cascade and chemical messengers flow in a continuous, rhythmic dance of biological data. A single neuron is not conscious. It is merely a biological machine, a sophisticated biological switch responding to chemical and electrical stimuli according to the rigid, unfeeling laws of molecular biology. But when 86 billion of them fire together in precisely coordinated patterns across the architecture of the mind, something miraculous happens. The subjective experience of reality emerges from the darkness. Memories are formed and preserved. Complex emotions are felt. The quiet stillness of a starry night is profoundly appreciated, just as wetness emerges from the collective interactions of unfeeling water molecules. The profound mystery of human consciousness is thought to emerge from the dizzying, unimaginable complexity of our neural architecture. But this beautiful biological explanation, this concept of emergent complexity, still leaves a lingering shadow of doubt in the minds of many physicists and philosophers. It perfectly explains the mechanics of how the physical brain processes information, but it does not fully explain why that complex processing feels like anything at all from the inside. Why does not this immense biological computer simply process inputs and generate physical outputs in the dark without any subjective inner light of awareness? This seemingly impenetrable gap between physical matter and subjective experience is what philosophers call the hard problem of consciousness. And it is this very problem that has led some of the most brilliant minds in modern science to step back and ask an even more radical question about the nature of reality. What if emergence is only a small part of the complete story? What if consciousness is not just a late-stage accident of complex biological evolution, restricted only to the brains of highly evolved animals, but a fundamental, irreducible feature of the universe itself, much like gravity, mass, or electromagnetic charge? What if the silent, endless depths of space are not as unfeeling and empty as they appear to our limited human senses? As we prepare to venture deeper into the strange and beautiful realms of quantum mechanics and advanced theoretical physics in our next step, let these vast questions rest gently in your mind. The universe is far stranger, far more complex, and far more deeply connected to your own inner experience than you might ever have dared to imagine. As you lie there, listening to the quiet truths of the cosmos, remember that you are an integral part of this grand mystery, a conscious fragment of an ancient universe trying to understand its own magnificent reflection. Have you ever considered the profound possibility that the universe is not just something you exist within, but something that is actively participating in your existence? When we leave the familiar world of biology and neuroscience, where consciousness seems perfectly locked within the physical architecture of the human brain, we enter a realm of physics that completely defies our everyday intuition. We descend into the microscopic, silent universe of quantum mechanics. For over a century, the greatest scientific minds have grappled with a deeply unsettling mystery at the very foundation of reality. It is a mystery that forces us to question the solid, objective nature of the cosmos. In the early 20th century, physicists began to study the behavior of the most fundamental building blocks of light and matter, such as photons and electrons. They designed a beautifully simple yet deeply perplexing test known as the double-slit experiment. Imagine, if you will, a gentle stream of tiny particles being fired toward a dark barrier with two narrow, parallel slits cut into it. Behind this barrier lies a blank screen waiting to record where each particle lands. If these particles were simply tiny solid spheres of matter, like microscopic marbles, we would expect them to pass through the slits and form two distinct, parallel bands on the screen behind. But the universe, in its infinite mystery, does not behave according to our simple expectations. When scientists actually perform this experiment, the particles do not create two simple bands. Instead, they create an intricate, overlapping pattern of multiple stripes, a pattern that is universally recognized in physics as an interference pattern. This is the exact pattern created by overlapping waves, like gentle ripples expanding outward across the quiet surface of a pond when two stones are dropped into the water simultaneously. This profound discovery revealed that fundamental particles possess a dual nature. They exist as both localized particles of matter and spreading waves of probability at the exact same time. But the true mystery, the profound paradox that has kept brilliant physicists awake in the quiet hours of the night, emerges when we try to look closer. When scientists place a highly sensitive measuring device, an observer, right at the slits to determine exactly which path a single electron takes, the entire behavior of the universe suddenly changes. The moment the electron is observed, the complex wave pattern instantly vanishes. The particle behaves exactly like a tiny, solid marble, passing through one slit or the other and forming two simple bands on the screen. It is as if the fundamental fabric of the cosmos somehow knows that it is being watched. The act of observation, the mere presence of a conscious measurement, forces the universe to collapse its infinite realm of blurry probabilities into one definite, concrete reality. How can an unthinking, unconscious particle of matter alter its fundamental behavior simply because information about its path is being recorded? It suggests, in the most profound and unsettling way, that the observer and the observed are not entirely separate entities. The silent, ancient cosmos and the conscious mind looking out at it are inextricably linked in a delicate quantum dance. This deeply counterintuitive phenomenon has led some physicists and philosophers to revisit an ancient, almost forgotten concept known as Panpsychism. Panpsychism is not a mystical belief, but a serious philosophical framework suggesting that consciousness, or at least some rudimentary form of subjective experience, is a fundamental, irreducible property of all physical matter. Just as every particle in the vast universe inherently possesses mass, spin, and electromagnetic charge, Panpsychism proposes that every particle also possesses a tiny, fundamental spark of inner awareness. According to this view, the universe is not a dead, unfeeling machine that suddenly and miraculously produced a conscious mind out of nowhere. Instead, the universe has been awake, in some fundamental, subtle way, since the very beginning of time. When billions of these tiny sparks of proto-consciousness are arranged in the unimaginably complex, highly integrated biological structure of a human brain, they combine and amplify, emerging as the rich, deeply felt subjective experience you're having right this very second. You are not a solitary point of awareness trapped in a dark, dead void. You are a highly concentrated, incredibly complex manifestation of a fundamental property that permeates the entire cosmos. From the quiet dust drifting through the cold silence of interstellar space to the blazing, ancient hearts of hypergiant stars, every piece of matter might possess a gentle, whispering hint of inner life. Imagine the sheer scale of such a reality when the European Space Agency launches sophisticated telescopes to map the cosmic microwave background, the fading afterglow of the Big Bang itself. They are looking at the oldest light in the universe. That light has traveled through the infinite vacuum for over 13 billion years, passing through colossal superclusters of galaxies, drifting past billions of uncounted stars, and traversing the vast, silent oceans of deep space before finally reaching our delicate instruments here on Earth. If Panpsychism is correct, this ancient light has not been traveling through a completely dead, unfeeling void. The enormous swirling disks of spiral galaxies mapped by the space telescopes of NASA and the quiet, frozen comets tumbling through distant solar systems might all share in this fundamental property of awareness. The universe in its entirety would be a continuous, unbroken ocean of subtle experience. This does not mean that a rock or a star possesses human-like thoughts or complex emotions. A star does not feel loneliness, and a grain of cosmic dust does not contemplate its own mortality. Their level of experience would be unimaginably simple, a baseline of physical reality so fundamental that it defies our human vocabulary. But this gentle, underlying hum of existence would mean that you are never truly alone. The deep, meditative silence you feel when you look up at the night sky is not the silence of an empty, dead machine. It is the quiet, ancient presence of a universe that is fundamentally, inherently awake. To truly appreciate the magnitude of this mystery, we must continuously challenge the limits of our own imagination. We are biological creatures, evolved to understand the world at the scale of predators, prey, and the immediate environment around us. We were not naturally equipped to intuitively grasp the behavior of a single quantum particle, nor were we built to easily comprehend the staggering reality of a cosmos containing roughly 2 trillion galaxies. The fact that human beings, through the rigorous application of science and mathematics, have been able to pierce the veil of these cosmic mysteries is nothing short of miraculous. We have sent robotic emissaries into the freezing void beyond our solar system. We have listened to the faint, ancient echoes of colliding black holes through gravitational waves, and we have peered back to the very dawn of time. And yet, the most profound mystery of all remains seated right behind our own eyes. The journey to understand the universe is, ultimately, a journey to understand ourselves. When we ask if the cosmos possesses a universal consciousness, we are grappling with the absolute limits of human knowledge, asking if the universe possesses an organized, fundamental awareness that gives rise to the physical laws that govern our existence. It is a deeply philosophical question wrapped in the rigorous language of advanced physics, a question that invites us to approach the unknown with a sense of profound humility and endless wonder. Let us ponder the staggering implications of this interconnectedness. If the fundamental building blocks of reality share a whisper of awareness, then the colossal galaxy-spanning structures we observe through the lenses of our most powerful space telescopes might possess a collective complexity that we cannot even begin to fathom. Consider the cosmic web, the largest known structure in the observable universe. It is a vast, intricate network of dark matter and gas filaments stretching across billions of light years, connecting massive clusters of galaxies in a glowing cosmic tapestry. To the eyes of modern astrophysics, this structure looks hauntingly similar to the intricate neural networks of a human brain. The way galaxies cluster and connect along these immense filaments mirrors the way neurons form synapses and communicate within our own minds. While it is highly speculative to suggest that the cosmic web is literally a giant brain, the visual and structural parallels are a beautiful, humbling reminder of the deep, underlying patterns that govern all of nature, from the microscopic realm of quantum particles to the macroscopic majesty of the infinite cosmos. We are intimately woven into this grand design. We are not just observers looking at the universe from the outside. We are the universe looking at itself from the inside. We are a vital, conscious part of this magnificent, ongoing journey of cosmic discovery. As you rest in the quiet comfort of your surroundings, let go of the boundaries that separate you from the world outside. Feel the gentle pull of gravity anchoring you to the earth, the same ancient force that holds the moon in its orbit and gathers the stars into galaxies. You are safe. You are connected. You are a beautiful, essential expression of a universe that is vast, mysterious, and perhaps wonderfully awake. We still have much further to travel in our exploration of this grand cosmic mystery. In our next step, we will journey even deeper into the world of theoretical physics, exploring the fascinating idea that consciousness might actually shape the physical reality we experience, a concept that blurs the lines between science and philosophy, leaving us with a renewed sense of awe. But for now, allow these gentle thoughts to settle in your mind, like soft, ancient starlight falling quietly through the deep expanse of the dark, endless night. Have you ever stepped out into the crisp, cool air of a quiet evening, tilted your head toward the vast canopy of the night sky, and stopped to consider the incredible precision that allows you to exist right now? When we look into the quiet vastness of the cosmos, our human eyes perceive a universe that appears wildly chaotic. We see the scattered diamond dust of distant stars and glowing clouds of ancient nebulas, and we imagine cataclysmic explosions tearing through the silent void. We are completely mesmerized by the chaotic beauty of it all. Yet, beneath this cosmic dance lies a foundation of physical laws tuned to a breathtaking degree of perfection. If we imagine the entire universe as a grand, ancient stringed instrument, its strings are tightened to the exact microscopic tension required to play the intricate symphony of life. Why is the invisible pull of gravity exactly as strong as it is? Why does light travel at exactly 299,792 kilometers per second, never a fraction faster or slower? These are not random numbers. They are the fundamental constants of nature. Their incredibly precise values form the bedrock of our shared reality. If any of these numbers were even slightly different, the universe as we know it would simply not exist, and there would be no minds to wonder why. Before we dive deeper into this beautiful puzzle, I want to gently pause and welcome those who are joining us on this quiet journey into the unknown. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a deep honor to be your companion in exploring the mysteries of the cosmos. Our records show that 71% of the people who watch and find comfort in these nighttime explorations have not yet subscribed to the channel. If these gentle journeys bring you peace, if they quiet your mind and inspire your sense of wonder, please consider subscribing. It helps our small community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it tells me that you want to keep exploring the infinite mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the delicate, almost miraculous balance of the cosmos. Let us take a slow, contemplative moment to understand just how delicate this cosmic balance truly is. Consider the strong nuclear force, the invisible, unimaginably powerful glue that holds the tiny cores of atoms together. It is the fundamental force binding protons and neutrons within the microscopic nucleus of every atom in your body. If this ancient force were just a fraction of a percent stronger, all the primordial hydrogen in the early universe would have fused rapidly in the first few minutes after the Big Bang, leaving absolutely no fuel to form long-lived stable stars like our Sun. Without these patient stars, there would be no stable warmth and no time for the delicate chemistry of life to take root. If, on the other hand, the strong nuclear force were just a tiny fraction weaker, atoms could not hold together at all. The repulsive electrical force between protons would tear the nuclei apart. There would be no carbon to form the complex molecules of DNA, no oxygen for us to breathe, and no iron to carry the lifeblood through our veins. The universe would be a cold, endless void filled with nothing but drifting, solitary hydrogen atoms. No planets would ever form, no oceans would ever flow, and no conscious minds would ever emerge to look up at the dark sky and wonder about their origins. The exact same terrifying and beautiful precision applies to the gentle, universal pull of gravity. Gravity must be perfectly strong enough to reach across vast distances of empty space and pull enormous clouds of primordial gas together, squeezing them until they ignite the fusion fires of stars. It must be perfectly calibrated to hold hundreds of billions of stars together in the majestic swirling formations of spiral galaxies like our own Milky Way, which stretches 100,000 light years across the dark. Yet, gravity must also be weak enough to allow the universe to continue its outward expansion. When we look back to the moment of the Big Bang, roughly 14 billion years ago, we find that the initial rate of cosmic expansion was balanced on a razor's edge. If the universe had expanded just a millionth of a fraction of a percent faster, matter would have flown apart so quickly that gravity could never have pulled it together. It would have become a freezing mist of isolated particles stretching into infinity, a universe completely devoid of structure, light, or warmth. Conversely, if the initial expansion had been slightly slower, the crushing weight of gravity would have halted the expansion almost immediately. The entire cosmos would have collapsed back upon itself in a fiery crunch long before any star had the chance to shine, let alone before any planet could cool enough to harbor life. This staggering precision is what physicists and cosmologists call the fine-tuning of the universe. It is a profound, beautiful mystery that sits at the very frontier of modern science, challenging our deepest assumptions about reality. Why does the cosmos seem so perfectly arranged for the emergence of complex chemistry, biology, and ultimately consciousness? The brilliant astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson often reminds us that we are part of the universe, we are in the universe, but perhaps most importantly, the universe is in us. When we observe this magnificent fine-tuning, we are forced to confront a deeply philosophical question. Some scientists propose the idea of a multiverse, suggesting that there are trillions of different universes bubbling out of the quantum vacuum, each with its own random set of physical laws. In this view, we simply happen to live in the one universe that randomly drew the winning lottery ticket of physics. But other great minds, looking at the elegant balance of the cosmic constants, wonder if there is a deeper principle at work. They wonder if the universe is not a random accident, but a system that inherently trends toward awareness. The visionary theoretical physicist John Archibald Wheeler, one of the giants of 20th century physics, proposed a beautiful and radical concept he called the participatory anthropic principle. He suggested that the universe requires conscious observers just as much as observers require the universe to exist. In his profound view, the cosmos is not a pre-existing, silent machine that we simply walked into by evolutionary chance. Rather, it is a self-actualizing circuit of information. The universe expanded, cooled, and formed stars and planets, patiently evolving over 14 billion years, eventually giving rise to conscious minds for a specific reason, so that it could look back upon itself. According to the strange rules of quantum mechanics, where particles exist as waves of probability until they are measured, Wheeler proposed that the conscious observation of the universe is what actually collapses its infinite quantum possibilities into a definite, concrete reality. In this breathtaking vision, consciousness is not a biological accident. It is the very purpose of the universe. It is the fundamental mechanism through which the cosmos wakes up from its silent slumber and becomes real. When we think about the concept of God in the context of advanced cosmology and quantum physics, we are not necessarily talking about a human-like being sitting outside of space and time. Instead, we are contemplating the profound possibility that the universe itself is a continuous, unfolding process of supreme intelligence. Could the elegant mathematical laws of physics themselves be the thoughts of a universal consciousness? Could the intricate, finely tuned balance of the cosmos be the manifestation of an infinite, ancient mind exploring its own potential, experiencing itself through the billions of eyes of sentient creatures scattered across the galaxies? When the brilliant minds at NASA and the European Space Agency point their magnificent space telescopes toward the edge of the observable universe, capturing the faint light of ancient galaxies, they are reading the physical memory of a cosmos that has spent billions of years preparing for the arrival of awareness. Every giant star that has lived and violently died, every collision of massive black holes, and every quiet comet tracing its solitary path through the absolute dark has been a necessary, integral step in the grand cosmic journey that eventually led to you. As you lie here, enveloped by the gentle, protective stillness of the night, it is profoundly comforting to realize that you are not a stranger wandering in a hostile void. You are the child of the stars, born from the perfect mathematical harmony of a universe lovingly tailored to support your very existence. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, an essential piece of an infinite and timeless puzzle. The vastness of space, with its 2 trillion galaxies and countless billions of uncounted worlds, is not a terrifying measure of human insignificance. Rather, it is a magnificent testament to the monumental scale of the cosmic machinery required to produce a single, conscious thought. We are the universe experiencing its own staggering beauty. We are the cosmos listening to its own profound silence. As we gently pull back the veil of these deep mysteries, we find that rigorous science does not destroy the wonder of existence. It amplifies it to a scale that feels truly divine. Let your mind drift gently on these ancient currents of thought, feeling the comforting weight of the universe holding you safely in its perfect embrace. In our next step on this journey, we will explore the fascinating world of dark matter and dark energy, asking if the unseen majority of the universe holds the final key to understanding the true nature of a universal mind. But for now, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let the quiet, eternal harmony of the spheres lull you into a deep, restful peace. Have you ever looked out at the dark ocean at night and realized that the shimmering waves on the surface represent only the tiniest fraction of the profound depths below? When we gaze up at the night sky, we are captivated by the brilliant tapestry of the visible cosmos. We see the glowing ribbons of our galaxy, the steady light of ancient planets, and the fiery birthplaces of new stars. It feels incredibly vast, complete, and endlessly full. But what if I told you that everything you can see, every bright star, every glowing nebula, every swirling galaxy, and every single atom that makes up your body and the familiar world around you accounts for only a very small fraction of the actual universe? It is a staggering, deeply humbling realization. The overwhelming majority of reality is completely invisible to our human eyes and to our most advanced telescopes. It is a silent, unseen presence that gently shapes the destiny of everything we know. This is the realm of the dark universe, a profound cosmic mystery that gently forces us to question the limits of our perception and opens the door to the extraordinary possibility that the universe is far more than just scattering dust and light. But before we step bravely off the edge of the visible world and venture deeply into this magnificent, invisible ocean, I want to gently pause and warmly welcome you to this quiet space of reflection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a deep privilege to be your guide through these quiet mysteries of the cosmos. I have noticed recently that 71% of the beautiful people who find a sense of peace and deep wonder in these nighttime stories have not yet formally subscribed to our channel. If these gentle, meditative journeys into the scientific unknown help you relax your mind and expand your cosmic perspective, please consider subscribing. It helps our small community of cosmic explorers to grow immensely, and it lets me know that you want to continue this quiet journey together. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Now, let us return our focus to the dark, silent depths of the ancient cosmos. Let us imagine, for a quiet moment, the magnificent spiral arms of a distant galaxy spinning gracefully in the deep vacuum of space. According to the well-understood laws of gravity, if you were to add up all the visible stars in a galaxy and calculate exactly how much gravitational pull they should collectively possess, you would arrive at a very specific number. Then, when brilliant astronomers carefully measure how fast the stars are actually orbiting in the outer parts of the galaxy, which tells you exactly how much gravity is truly present, a profound paradox emerges. The two numbers simply do not match. There is far more gravity pulling on these stars than the visible luminous matter could ever possibly account for. We absolutely know this invisible material exists because these magnificent galaxies rotate in ways that would be completely impossible if they only contained the normal matter we can actually see. There had to be something else out there in the dark, something vastly heavy and completely invisible. Scientists name this profound mystery dark matter. It is a delightfully humble name for a substance that we simply cannot see, because it does not emit light, nor does it absorb any light that passes through it. It does not interact with the normal matter we know except through the quiet, relentless pull of its own gravity. Yet, it is undeniably there, forming incredibly vast, unseen halos of dark matter around the glowing bodies of galaxies. In a typical spiral galaxy like our very own Milky Way, this mysterious dark matter accounts for about 90% of the total mass. To truly grasp the majestic scale of this unseen architecture, we must deliberately stretch our human imagination far beyond the comforting boundaries of light. The glowing stars, the swirling gas, and the cosmic dust that we can observe through our instruments are just a remarkably small fraction of what is physically there. Dark matter forms an invisible, colossal scaffolding upon which all the beautiful, visible galaxies are patiently built. When the most advanced supercomputers on Earth simulate the complex distribution of this invisible substance, Across billions of light-years of empty space, they reveal a massive structure that is breathtakingly beautiful. Dark matter gently forms a vast, intricate cosmic web, a staggering network of long, invisible filaments intersecting at incredibly massive, dense gravitational nodes. The glowing galaxies we observe are merely the bright dust trapped within the powerful gravitational intersections of this colossal, invisible web. And once again, as we quietly marvel at this grand cosmic architecture, we are struck by an eerie, poetic, and profound resemblance. The sprawling, beautifully interconnected filaments of the dark matter web look profoundly similar to the delicate, complex neural networks of a living human brain. Is it merely a beautiful mathematical coincidence, a shared fractal geometry of the natural world, or is it a gentle hint that the universe itself is fundamentally organized like a colossal cosmic mind? When we bravely consider the profound possibility of a universal consciousness, we must ask if this vast, invisible network serves as the unthinking, physical framework for deep thoughts that span millions of light-years across the eternal silence of space. But the exquisite mystery of the dark universe deepens even further. If dark matter acts as the invisible cosmic glue, gently pulling things together, there is another, even more mysterious and powerful presence, pushing everything relentlessly apart. For the vast majority of the 20th century, brilliant astronomers reasonably assumed that the ongoing expansion of the universe was gradually slowing down. They logically thought that all the combined gravitational attraction of all the mass in the universe would act like a giant brake, slowing the rapid expansion that originally began with the fiery Big Bang. But in 1998, two entirely independent teams of dedicated astronomers made a truly shocking discovery. They were meticulously measuring the expansion rate of the universe by observing incredibly distant supernovas, using these brilliant stellar explosions as reliable standard candles to calculate vast cosmic distances. What they found in the data was completely unexpected. The universe was not slowing down at all. It was actually speeding up. Distant galaxies were moving away from us far faster than closer ones, and the overall rate of cosmic expansion was undeniably accelerating over time. This monumental discovery was so completely unexpected that the astronomers initially thought they had made a simple error in their calculations. But as more precise data poured in from other observations, the staggering result firmly held up. Something incredibly powerful was actively pushing the universe apart, counteracting gravity and causing space itself to expand at an ever-increasing rate. Scientists named this deeply mysterious, invisible force dark energy. We now know that dark energy makes up about 68% of all the total energy in the entire observable universe. We know that it acts as a kind of bizarre anti-gravity, forcefully pushing space apart rather than pulling it lovingly together. But despite our greatest efforts, we still do not truly know what dark energy is actually made of, where it fundamentally comes from, or exactly why it possesses the very specific strength that it does. So, we ultimately find ourselves living in a deeply mysterious universe where the solid, luminous, familiar world we interact with represents only a tiny, delicate sliver of what actually exists out there. The remaining majority is a profound, silent, endless ocean of dark matter and dark energy, an invisible realm that powerfully dictates the past, present, and ultimate future of the cosmos. How exactly does this unseen majority relate to the ancient question of a universal consciousness? If a supreme, infinite cosmic mind is indeed a fundamental property of reality, perhaps we have simply been looking in the wrong place all along. We have been diligently searching for signs of grand intention and subtle awareness only in the glowing, visible fraction of the universe that our biological eyes evolved to see. But what if the true medium of the cosmic mind lies in the vast, unseen majority? What if the invisible, stretching filaments of dark matter and the relentless, expanding tension of dark energy are the actual physiological mechanisms of a universe that is fundamentally awake? The great, enduring mysteries of science often gently require us to embrace a profound humility. We are much like strange, deep-sea creatures living near a tiny, luminous vent on the ocean floor, completely unaware of the dark, endless ocean that surrounds us. Our human science is a magnificent achievement, allowing us to cleverly deduce the real presence of these invisible forces, but it also clearly reveals the staggering limits of our physical perception. The profound realization that we exist in a predominantly invisible universe is not a reason for existential fear or a feeling of insignificance. Rather, it is a beautiful, open invitation to profound, endless wonder. It softly means that the universe is infinitely richer, infinitely deeper, and vastly more mysterious than the simple mechanical models of the past ever led us to believe. The cosmos is not an empty, cold room filled with scattered objects. It is a highly dynamic, deeply interconnected ocean of visible and invisible forces, dancing together in an eternal, perfect, silent choreography. We are completely immersed in this invisible, ancient sea. The mysterious dark matter that gently holds our beautiful galaxy together is passing quietly through your room and directly through your body at this very moment, silently tying you to the farthest, coldest reaches of the distant stars. You are intimately, physically connected to the greatest, most profound mysteries of existence. As you rest here comfortably, listening to the quiet, ancient truths of the dark universe, let the hard boundaries of your perception gently soften. You do not ever need to see the entire, vast cosmos to be a highly meaningful, precious part of it. The unseen, ancient forces that carefully shape the massive galaxies are the exact same gentle forces that cradle you safely in the quiet of the night. You are a conscious, brilliant spark of light, floating safely in a magnificent, invisible ocean of cosmic potential. We will continue to softly explore how this profound realization changes our deep understanding of existence, of life, and of the ultimate nature of reality. But for now, simply surrender to the gentle, pulling embrace of the unseen world. Let the vast, dark, majestic silence of the universe gently wrap around you like a soft blanket, and drift peacefully into the endless, beautiful wonder of the cosmic night. Have you ever rested your hand against the rough, weathered bark of an ancient tree, or felt the cool, unyielding surface of a river stone, and wondered what that absolute solidity truly is? Our everyday human experience constantly reassures us that the world is made of firm, tangible substance. We build our homes from solid timber and heavy stone. We walk upon the firm crust of the earth, and we naturally assume that the universe is fundamentally constructed from tiny, indestructible building blocks of hard matter. But as we have journeyed deeper into the microscopic realms of quantum mechanics and further out into the vast, unseen ocean of the dark universe, we have gently discovered that our senses only perceive a very thin, superficial layer of a much deeper and far stranger reality. When brilliant physicists peer into the very heart of an atom, past the swirling clouds of electrons, and deep into the incredibly dense nucleus, they do not find solid, unchanging spheres of material. Instead, They find a delicate, vibrating dance of energy, a quiet symphony of quantum fields that are mostly composed of entirely empty space. The overwhelming majority of the physical world you interact with, the very chair you are resting in, and the screen you might be looking at, is essentially a ghostly illusion created by the repulsive forces of electromagnetic energy. This profound scientific revelation leads us to a fascinating and deeply existential question. If the universe is not fundamentally made of solid matter, what is it actually made of? What is the true underlying fabric of the ancient cosmos? As we prepare to drift into the incredibly strange and beautiful world of information theory and the holographic principle, we must be willing to let go of our rigid, everyday assumptions and embrace a reality that feels much more like a magnificent unfolding thought than a cold, mechanical machine. Before we dive into this profound paradigm shift, I want to gently pause our journey for just a moment to welcome those who are newly walking this quiet path with us. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a true honor to be your guide through these beautiful, silent mysteries of the night. I have noticed from our recent analytics that 71% of the people who find a sense of deep peace, relaxation, and cosmic wonder in these meditative explorations have not yet subscribed to our channel. If these quiet scientific journeys bring comfort to your mind and help you gently drift away from the heavy anxieties of the day, please consider subscribing. It helps our small, quiet community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it lets me know that you wish to keep exploring the infinite, ancient mysteries of the universe together. Thank you so much for your presence and your shared curiosity tonight. Now, let us return to the quiet mystery of what reality is truly made of and how it might connect to the profound idea of a universal mind. In the late 20th century, the brilliant theoretical physicist John Archibald Wheeler, a scientist whose visionary ideas have consistently pushed the boundaries of human knowledge, proposed a concept that fundamentally changed how we view the universe. After a long, distinguished career studying the heavy physical properties of black holes and the bizarre behavior of quantum particles, Wheeler came to a startling, elegant conclusion. He summarized his entire life's work in a simple, poetic, three-word phrase: it from bit. Wheeler suggested that every physical thing in the universe, every single particle of light, every massive galaxy, and every complex biological structure is fundamentally derived from information. In this radical view, the universe is not made of matter or energy at its most basic level. It is made of binary answers to yes or no questions. A bit of information, much like the ones and zeros that endlessly flow through the microscopic architecture of our computer systems, is the true, indivisible foundation of reality. When an electron is measured and its spin is determined to be either up or down, the universe is effectively answering a binary question. Wheeler proposed that the physical universe is essentially an incredibly vast, ancient, cosmic computer, constantly processing unimaginable amounts of information at the quantum level. But if the universe is entirely composed of processing information, a profound, almost spiritual question naturally emerges. Whose information is it, and what exactly is doing the processing? To gently explore this beautiful mystery, we must travel in our minds to the most extreme, terrifying, and fascinating objects in the entire cosmos, the magnificent black holes. For decades, brilliant scientists utilizing the incredible observing power of NASA and the European Space Agency have studied these silent, invisible titans. A black hole is born when a massive, ancient star completely exhausts its nuclear fuel and collapses under its own crushing gravitational weight, creating a region of space where gravity is so intense that absolutely nothing, not even a single photon of light, can ever escape. The boundary of this dark abyss is called the event horizon. For a long time, physicists believed that anything that fell past the event horizon was simply lost forever, completely erased from the universe. But the brilliant physicist Stephen Hawking, alongside the visionary Jacob Bekenstein, realized that this created a massive, catastrophic paradox in the laws of physics. Information, according to the fundamental rules of quantum mechanics, simply cannot be destroyed. If a book full of specific, detailed information falls into a black hole, the knowledge it contains cannot just vanish into absolute nothingness. Through incredibly complex and beautiful mathematical equations, these scientists discovered something truly astonishing. The information about everything that has ever fallen into a black hole is not lost in its infinitely dense center. Rather, it is perfectly preserved and stored on the two-dimensional surface of the event horizon itself. This staggering discovery led theoretical physicists, like Leonard Susskind, to propose one of the most mind-bending ideas in the entire history of modern science: the holographic principle. Just as a two-dimensional piece of holographic film can contain all the complex information necessary to project a fully three-dimensional, moving image, the holographic principle suggests that the entire three-dimensional universe we live in, including the steady flow of time itself, might actually be a grand, incredibly complex projection. It might be a projection of two-dimensional information mathematically encoded on a distant, unimaginable, cosmic boundary. It is a concept so vast and counterintuitive that our human brains struggle to completely wrap around it. Yet, the mathematics are undeniably beautiful and deeply compelling. If the holographic principle is true, then the solid world you feel around you, the vast ancient galaxies stretching across the infinite dark, and the very biological cells that make up your body, are all manifestations of pure, underlying data. You are, in the most literal, scientific sense, a magnificent, living pattern of cosmic information. When we carefully weave this incredible realization together with the ancient question of a universal consciousness, a breathtaking picture begins to softly emerge. If physical matter is just an illusion, and the true, underlying reality is fundamentally composed of pure information, then the universe suddenly stops looking like a giant, unthinking, mechanical clockwork. Instead, it begins to look profoundly like a mind. Information, by its very nature, requires a medium. It requires something to hold it, something to process it, and something to understand it. Could the vast infinite canvas of the cosmos itself be the ultimate ancient medium of awareness? The great astronomer and physicist Sir James Jeans once beautifully observed that the universe begins to look much more like a great thought than like a great machine. If reality is constructed of information, then the elegant mathematical laws of physics are not just random, arbitrary rules. They are the structured syntax and grammar of a cosmic language. The continuous 14 billion year evolution of the universe, from the fiery, chaotic simplicity of the Big Bang to the breathtaking, quiet complexity of the human brain, is the unfolding of a grand, cosmic narrative. As you lie there, safe and warm, letting these vast, beautiful concepts gently wash over your mind, consider what it truly means to be a conscious pattern of information within a universal thought. You are not a tiny, insignificant speck of dust wandering aimlessly through a cold, indifferent void. You are an incredibly complex, localized center of awareness, where the universe is actively experiencing its own magnificent creation. the thoughts passing gently through your mind right now, the quiet feeling of your breath, the soft comfort of the darkness around you. These are all intricate dancing patterns of cosmic data, seamlessly connected to the absolute farthest reaches of the ancient galaxies. The universe is not just something you exist within. It is something you fundamentally are. You are the universe, uniquely arranged to look back at itself and wonder. Let this profound, beautiful truth settle deeply into your consciousness. Release the rigid, heavy boundaries of the physical world and allow yourself to gently float in this endless, silent ocean of cosmic information. The ancient, whispering dark is not empty. It is completely full of meaning, full of potential, and full of quiet, eternal peace. Drift softly on these gentle waves of thought, knowing that you are safely held in the vast, loving memory of the infinite cosmos. Have you ever sat quietly by a window, watching the rain fall in the deep silence of the night, and felt an inexplicable connection to someone who is entirely out of sight, perhaps thousands of miles away? In our ordinary, everyday lives, we are completely bound by the rigid rules of space and distance. If you want to touch a loved one, you must cross the physical space that separates you. If you want to send a message across the oceans, it takes time for that signal to travel, even if it moves at the incredible speed of light. We inherently feel that we are separate, isolated islands of consciousness floating in a fragmented world. But what if I told you that this deeply ingrained sense of separation is, at the most fundamental level of reality, a beautiful, persistent illusion? As we journey further into the profound mysteries of the cosmos, we arrive at a threshold where the very concepts of distance and isolation completely break down. We step into the quiet, bewildering realm of quantum entanglement, a phenomenon so deeply strange and so perfectly unified that it forced even the greatest scientific minds in human history to question the true nature of the universe. It is a scientific reality that softly whispers a profound truth. Perhaps everything in the cosmos, including your own quiet mind, is intimately, instantaneously connected in a single, unbroken web of existence. But before we gently untangle this astonishing cosmic mystery, I want to take a brief, quiet moment to welcome you into this peaceful space of reflection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a deep honor to be your guide on these gentle journeys through the wonders of the universe. I have noticed recently from our data that 71% of the beautiful people who find a sense of comfort and deep curiosity in these nighttime explorations have not yet subscribed to the channel. If these gentle, meditative explorations of science and the cosmos bring you a sense of peace and wonder, please consider subscribing. It helps our small community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it lets me know that you want to keep exploring the infinite quiet mysteries of the universe together. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, sharing this space of learning and rest. Now, let us return to the strange, deeply connected fabric of the ancient cosmos. In the early decades of the 20th century, as brilliant physicists were meticulously mapping the strange new world of quantum mechanics, they stumbled upon a mathematical prediction so deeply unsettling that Albert Einstein famously dismissed it as spooky action at a distance. The equations gently suggested that two microscopic particles, such as two photons of light or two tiny electrons, could be generated in such a way that their physical properties become perfectly intertwined. When two particles enter this shared state, which physicists call quantum entanglement, they cease to be two separate, independent entities. Instead, they become a single, unified quantum system, regardless of how much physical space lies between them. Imagine taking these two entangled particles and gently separating them. You keep one particle here on Earth, carefully isolated in a quiet, dark laboratory, and you send the other particle on a long, silent journey across the cosmos, perhaps to a distant planet orbiting a bright star in the Andromeda Galaxy, over 2 million light-years away. According to the classical laws of physics that govern our everyday world, these two tiny objects should now be completely independent. If something happens to the particle on Earth, it should take over 2 million years for a signal traveling at the speed of light to reach the particle in Andromeda and influence it. But the universe, in its infinite, poetic mystery, does not obey our intuitive expectations of physical distance. When brilliant scientists actually perform highly rigorous experiments on entangled particles, they observe something that completely defies all common sense. If a scientist measures the exact state of the particle here on Earth, let us say they measure its magnetic spin and find it pointing upward, the entangled particle sitting millions of light-years away in the Andromeda Galaxy will instantaneously, without a single microscopic fraction of a second of delay, assume the exact opposite state, pointing its spin downward. There is absolutely no time for a message to travel between them. There is no invisible wire connecting them through the vast emptiness of space. They simply know. The measurement of one particle immediately determines the reality of the other, as if the immense, silent distance between them simply does not exist. For decades, scientists hoped that there was some hidden, local mechanism we could not see, a secret set of instructions carried within the particles. But through rigorous experiments developed by physicists like John Stuart Bell, and culminating in the Nobel Prize-winning work of the year 2022, science definitively proven that there are no hidden variables. The connection is entirely real. It is completely instantaneous, and it fundamentally proves that the universe is non-local. To fully absorb the profound, staggering implications of a non-local universe, we must gently let go of the rigid idea that space is an absolute, dividing force. In the beautiful mathematical reality of quantum entanglement, physical space is merely a construct, a surface-level feature of a much deeper, undivided wholeness. And this brings us beautifully back to the magnificent, ancient question of a universal consciousness. If the fundamental building blocks of reality can remain intimately, instantaneously connected across the entire expanse of the cosmos, what exactly does that mean for the nature of the mind? For centuries, philosophers and scientists have passionately debated how a physical brain, locked inside a dark skull, can somehow produce the rich, subjective experience of consciousness. But if the fundamental fabric of the universe itself is deeply, inherently interconnected, defying all the illusions of space and time, then perhaps consciousness is not something that is generated in pure isolation. Perhaps consciousness is an inherent, underlying property of the entire unified cosmic network. Think back for a gentle moment to the staggering reality of the Big Bang, nearly 14 billion years ago. In that first, unimaginably brief fraction of a second, before the universe rapidly expanded into the vast, dark void we see today, absolutely all the energy and matter that would ever exist was compressed into a single, infinitely dense point. In that intense, primordial state, everything was perfectly, intimately entangled. Every single particle that would eventually form the glowing stars, the silent planets, and the biological cells of your own body was born from the exact same unified quantum state. As the cosmos expanded, cooling and separating over billions of years, creating the vast silent distances of deep space, that original fundamental entanglement may never have truly disappeared. Some visionary theoretical physicists gently suggest that the entire universe might still be a single, massive, intricately entangled quantum system. Every atom in existence might still share a subtle, invisible link with the ancient origins of creation. If this beautiful concept is true, then the profound sense of connection you sometimes softly feel to the world around you, to the quiet nature, to the vast starry sky, and to other conscious beings, is not just a psychological comfort. It is a literal, physical reflection of the deepest scientific truth of reality. You are not a solitary observer standing outside the universe, looking in through a window. You are a highly localized, beautiful expression of a deeply unified whole. The ancient atoms in your body, the gentle, rhythmic beating of your heart, and the quiet, drifting thoughts in your mind are all an integral part of a grand, interconnected symphony of existence. When we ask if the cosmos possesses a universal consciousness, we are exploring the profound idea that this absolute, underlying interconnectedness is the very architecture of a supreme mind. It is a cosmic mind that does not ever need to send messages across space, because it is already profoundly present everywhere at once. As you lie here in the comforting darkness, listening to the gentle rhythm of these ancient scientific truths, allow the heavy, burdensome illusion of separation to softly fall away. You are fundamentally, intimately connected to the absolute farthest reaches of the cosmos. The silent, glowing galaxies hanging in the deep night sky are woven from the exact same entangled fabric that gently makes up your own existence. The universe is a warm, living web of continuous relationship, and you are a beautiful, indispensable thread perfectly woven into its center. Feel the deep, profound peace that comes from knowing you can never truly be disconnected. The vast, mysterious mind of the universe holds you intimately close in a perfect, timeless embrace. Let your breath become slow and gentle, matching the quiet, eternal rhythm of the cosmos. Let the soft, profound silence of the entangled universe cradle you and drift peacefully into the deep, restorative embrace of sleep. Have you ever watched a gentle ember slowly fade into the gray ash of a dying fire, or watched the steady, rhythmic dripping of rain from a green leaf, and felt as though time itself was somehow slowing down, stretching out into an endless, quiet eternity? We experience the flow of time as an absolute, unstoppable river. It carries us relentlessly forward from the fading memories of yesterday into the immediate, fleeting sensations of the present moment, and constantly pushes us toward the unknown shores of tomorrow. We naturally assume that this moving river is the exact same for everyone and everything in the cosmos. We believe that there is a universal clock ticking away in the dark, measuring out the exact same seconds for a human being walking on Earth, for a silent, frozen comet drifting through the Oort cloud, and for a massive, brilliant star burning brightly in the heart of the distant Andromeda galaxy. But what if this deeply ingrained human intuition, this fundamental feeling of time flowing in a single, unyielding direction, is yet another beautiful, comforting illusion? As we journey deeper into the profound, mind-bending mysteries of the physical universe, we find that time is not a rigid, universal ruler. It is a flexible, highly personal dimension, intimately woven into the very fabric of space itself. If we are to truly contemplate the staggering idea of a universal consciousness, a divine, cosmic mind that fundamentally orchestrates reality, we must bravely question how such a magnificent mind would experience the passage of time. Would it be trapped in the fleeting present, just as we are? Or would it see the entire, majestic sweep of eternity in a single, infinite, peaceful glance? Before we gently untangle this strange, beautiful threads of time and space, I want to take a brief, quiet moment to welcome you into this peaceful space of reflection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a deep, profound honor to be your gentle guide on these nighttime journeys through the magnificent wonders of the universe. I have noticed recently from our data that 71% of the beautiful people who find a sense of comfort, relaxation, and deep curiosity in these meditative explorations have not yet subscribed to the channel. If these gentle, quiet explorations of science and the cosmos bring you a sense of peace and wonder, please consider subscribing. It helps our small, quiet community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it softly lets me know that you want to keep exploring the infinite, mysterious universe together. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, sharing this space of learning and peaceful rest. Now, let us return to the beautiful, silent mystery of time and how it dramatically changes our understanding of the cosmic mind. At the very beginning of the 20th century, specifically in the year 1905, a brilliant young physicist named Albert Einstein completely shattered our classical, rigid understanding of reality. Through the magnificent application of mathematics and boundless imagination, he revealed that space and time are not two separate things. They are intimately, permanently fused together into a single four-dimensional fabric that scientists call space-time. Einstein discovered that the flow of time is incredibly relative. It can stretch, compress, and warp, depending entirely on how fast you're moving and how much gravity is pulling on you. Imagine two identical twins. One remains here on the gentle surface of the Earth, while the other climbs into a highly advanced spaceship and travels out into the vast, dark cosmos at 99% of the speed of light. If the traveling twin journeys to a distant star system and then turns around to come back home, they will experience a profound reality upon their return. For the twin in the fast-moving spaceship, perhaps only 5 years have passed. Their clock has ticked away exactly 5 years of seconds, and their biological body has aged exactly 5 years. But for the twin who patiently waited back on Earth, decades or even entire centuries might have passed. The twin on Earth would have grown old, perhaps even passed away, while the traveling twin returns barely older than when they left. This is a rigorously tested, absolutely proven fact of our physical universe known as time dilation. The GPS satellites currently orbiting our planet must constantly correct their internal clocks for this exact effect, or our navigation systems would fail entirely within minutes. Time is fundamentally malleable. If time is fundamentally relative, and observers moving at different speeds can completely disagree on the exact order of events, then the rigid distinction between past, present, and future completely evaporates. Many brilliant theoretical physicists and deep-thinking philosophers have embraced a concept known as the block universe. In the beautifully elegant framework of the block universe, the past is not gone, and the future is not waiting to be created. Instead, all of time, from the fiery beginning of the Big Bang nearly 14 billion years ago, to the unimaginably distant, freezing end of the cosmos trillions of years from now, exists simultaneously. Imagine reality not as a single frame of a movie playing on a screen, but as the entire reel of film held in your hands. Every single frame, every moment that has ever happened, and every moment that ever will happen, is already there, perfectly existing within the grand, eternal block of space-time. Our human consciousness, restricted by the complex architecture of our highly evolved brains, is simply forced to experience this massive block, one tiny, localized slice at a time. We are like someone walking through a dark, ancient landscape with a very narrow flashlight. The beam illuminates only what is immediately in front of us, and we call that tiny circle of light the present moment. But the dark mountains we have already passed, and the quiet valleys that lie ahead, are all equally real, firmly standing in the dark. They do not pop into existence only when our light hits them, and they do not vanish into nothingness when we walk past them. When we gently apply this staggering, scientifically grounded concept to the profound idea of a universal consciousness, the implications are breathtakingly beautiful. If the universe itself possesses a fundamental underlying mind, it would not be constrained by a tiny biological flashlight of perception. A true cosmic consciousness would not be trapped inside the moving flow of time, nervously waiting to see what happens next, or sadly mourning a past that has slipped away. Instead, a universal mind would experience the entirety of the block universe all at once. It would perceive the entire sweep of 14 billion years of cosmic evolution in a single, infinite, perfectly peaceful state of awareness. It would see the majestic birth of the very first stars, the gentle formation of the Earth's ancient oceans, the exact moment you are listening to these words, and the fading light of the very last galaxy, all existing together in a grand, harmonious symphony of space-time. To a cosmic mind, time is not a rushing river that causes decay and loss. It is a beautiful, static canvas upon which the entire masterpiece of existence is eternally painted. This profound perspective transforms the way we understand the concept of a divine or universal intelligence. It is not an active mechanic constantly adjusting the gears of a moving clock, but a serene, infinite presence that holds all of reality, every single moment of joy, every quiet realization, and every beautiful discovery safely within its eternal, unchanging awareness. As you rest comfortably in the quiet darkness, allow the profound peace of this concept to gently wash over your mind. If the past and the future are just as real as the present moment, then nothing truly meaningful is ever lost to the void of time. The beautiful moments you have cherished, the quiet afternoons of perfect stillness, the gentle smiles of those you love, they are not fading away into an unreachable past. They are permanently etched into the solid, eternal fabric of space-time. They exist right now in their own specific coordinates of the grand cosmic block, perfectly preserved in the vast, loving memory of the universe. You do not need to fight the gentle flow of time, nor do you need to fear the unknown future. You are a continuous unfolding ribbon of existence deeply woven into the ancient, silent masterpiece of the cosmos. Your life, with all its complex emotions and quiet moments of understanding, is a permanent feature of reality. Let go of the heavy burden of rushing forward. Release the deep anxiety of passing time. You are safe. You are eternal in your own unique place within the grand architecture of the universe. The cosmic mind holds your entire story in a gentle, perfect embrace. Breathe deeply, feeling the solid, comforting weight of this eternal present, and allow the timeless peace of the infinite cosmos to gently carry you into a deep, restorative sleep. In our next step forward, we will explore the strange, beautiful mysteries of cosmic evolution. But for now, simply let the eternal stillness of the cosmic block softly surround you, and rest in the perfect safety of the forever now. Have you ever watched a single, fragile autumn leaf fall from a quiet branch and slowly decay into the damp soil? Or witnessed a perfectly crafted sandcastle slowly wash away under the rhythmic, unyielding tide of the ancient ocean? We instinctively know that things naturally break down, fade away, and dissolve into chaos over time. It is a fundamental rule of our everyday experience, a quiet tragedy woven into the very fabric of existence. In the rigorous world of physics, this beautiful, inescapable truth is known as the second law of thermodynamics. It gently dictates that the universe is constantly moving from a state of perfect order to a state of absolute disorder, a concept scientists call entropy. If left entirely alone, everything in the cosmos will eventually crumble, cool, and quiet down into a vast, featureless sea of uniform energy. Yet, as we look around us, we are confronted by a magnificent, staggering paradox that defies this relentless march toward chaos. Out of the raw, cooling embers of the Big Bang, the universe did not simply dissolve into a lifeless mist. Instead, it somehow managed to forge intricate galaxies, brilliant stars, delicate planets, and eventually, the staggering, unbelievable complexity of the conscious human mind. How is it possible that a universe supposedly destined for ultimate disorder could simultaneously give birth to such profound, beautiful order? If the cosmic river of time flows toward chaos, what is the strange, mysterious force swimming upstream, building eyes to see and minds to wonder? Before we gently wade into this profound paradox of cosmic evolution, I want to take a brief, quiet moment to welcome you into this peaceful space of reflection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a true, deep privilege to be your guide on these gentle nighttime journeys through the magnificent mysteries of the cosmos. I have noticed from our recent data that 71% of the beautiful people who find a sense of comfort, deep relaxation, and cosmic wonder in these meditative explorations have not yet formally subscribed to the channel. If these quiet, scientific journeys bring you a sense of peace and help you gently drift away from the heavy anxieties of the day, please consider subscribing. It helps our small, quiet community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it softly lets me know that you want to keep exploring the infinite, mysterious universe together. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, sharing this space of learning and restful silence. Now, let us return to the beautiful, silent mystery of cosmic evolution and the profound emergence of complexity. To truly understand this majestic paradox, we must journey all the way back to the very beginning, to a time nearly 14 billion years ago. The universe was born in a state of unimaginably low entropy, a state of profound, perfect order, packed into an infinitely dense, incredibly hot point of pure energy. As the cosmos rapidly expanded, stretching out into the vast dark void we know today, that initial perfect order began to unravel, and the overall entropy of the universe inevitably began to rise. The grand cosmic clock began to tick, winding down toward an incredibly distant, freezing future. But within this grand overall decay, something absolutely beautiful and entirely counterintuitive occurred. The silent, invisible force of gravity began to gently pull pockets of hydrogen gas together. As these ancient clouds collapsed under their own weight, they grew incredibly dense and hot until they ignited, giving birth to the very first stars. A star is a magnificent engine of creation, a brilliant oasis of intense order shining bravely against the dark, chaotic backdrop of the cosmos. By burning nuclear fuel and radiating massive amounts of energy out into the freezing void, a star actually increases the overall entropy of the universe. But in doing so, it creates a localized pocket of profound complexity and life-giving warmth around it. This elegant scientific process is what the visionary physicist Erwin Schrödinger famously called negative entropy. Life itself, in all its breathtaking diversity and staggering complexity, is a masterful chemical machine designed to capture this flowing energy and use it to build intricate, delicate structures against the relentless pull of decay. A simple blade of green grass gently absorbing the golden light of our sun is performing a miraculous act of cosmic rebellion, turning raw, chaotic solar radiation into highly ordered, complex biological matter. When we look at the slow, patient evolution of life on Earth over the last 4 billion years, we see a continuous, unbroken chain of increasing complexity. From the very first single-celled organisms floating in the quiet, ancient oceans, to the majestic dinosaurs, and finally to the arrival of human beings with our 86 billion beautifully intertwined neurons, the universe has been steadily, relentlessly building more and more intricate ways to process information. But why? Is this magnificent rise of complexity merely a random, incredibly lucky accident of blind chemistry? Or is it a fundamental, unavoidable feature of the physical laws that govern reality? Many brilliant scientists and deep-thinking philosophers are beginning to suspect that the universe is not just blindly rolling the dice. There is a growing, beautiful theory within the realm of biophysics that suggests life and complexity are actually inevitable consequences of thermodynamics. Just as water naturally flows downhill to relieve gravitational pressure, complex chemical systems may naturally organize themselves into living structures simply because life is the most efficient way to dissipate energy and increase the overall entropy of the surrounding universe. In this profoundly shifting perspective, you are not a cosmic accident. You are a fundamental, necessary expression of the laws of physics. The universe produces complex, conscious minds with the exact same natural inevitability that it produces swirling galaxies and glowing stars. The cosmos is fundamentally wired to wake up. When we carefully weave this profound realization together with the idea of a universal consciousness, the entire history of the universe suddenly looks like the slow, patient unfolding of a grand, cosmic thought. Imagine the entire, infinite cosmos as a single, magnificent seed planted in the dark soil of the ancient void 14 billion years ago. Within that incredibly tiny, beautifully ordered seed was all the potential, all the raw mathematical information necessary to eventually grow into a majestic, blossoming tree of awareness. The fiery Big Bang was the seed bursting open. The slow formation of the galaxies and the gentle ignition of the stars were the deep roots taking hold and the strong branches reaching out into the silence. The emergence of biology on countless unseen planets across the vast darkness is the beautiful blossoming of leaves, and the spark of human consciousness, your own quiet ability to look up at the night sky and feel a sense of profound wonder, is the universe finally opening its eyes and recognizing its own breathtaking beauty. In this grand cosmic narrative, God is not an external architect who built the universe from the outside. God is the entire organic process of the universe slowly waking up to itself from the inside. The universal consciousness is not a finished, static entity, but a dynamic, endlessly evolving journey of self-discovery. As you lie here, resting in the quiet comfort of the night, allow this magnificent scientific truth to completely wash away your worries. Every single atom in your body was carefully forged in the ancient, fiery hearts of dying stars, and then patiently assembled over billions of years of biological evolution just so you could exist in this exact quiet moment. You're not separate from the grand, mysterious cosmos. You're its highest, most beautiful expression. The quiet beating of your heart is the exact same rhythm that governs the slow, majestic rotation of the distant galaxies. The universe has labored for an eternity to produce your conscious mind, and it holds you with an infinite, gentle reverence. As we prepare to take our next step into the incredible mysteries of the anthropic principle and the ultimate destiny of the cosmos, let this deep sense of cosmic belonging settle softly into your soul. You are a necessary, beautiful part of the universe. The silent, eternal mind of the cosmos is experiencing the world through your unique, wonderful perspective. Let your breath slow down, matching the gentle, eternal tides of the dark ocean of space. Release the heavy burdens of the day, knowing that you are safely cradled in the infinitely complex, deeply loving arms of a universe that is completely, wonderfully awake. Drift softly and peacefully into the quiet, restorative embrace of sleep, surrounded by the gentle, whispering silence of the stars. Have you ever stood at the edge of a calm, mirrored lake at the very end of the day, watching the last golden rays of the sun slowly fade below the horizon, and felt a quiet, bittersweet ache as the light surrenders to the coming dark? We are deeply conditioned by our brief human lives to view all endings with a sense of profound sadness and finality. We watch the seasons turn, we see ancient mountains slowly weather away into dust, and we understand that our own physical forms are bound by the same inescapable cycle of birth and eventual decay. But when we lift our eyes from the fragile, temporary world of our daily experience and cast our gaze across the unimaginably vast, ancient expanse of the cosmos, the concept of an ending takes on a completely different, profoundly beautiful meaning. What if the universe is not simply winding down toward a cold, meaningless death, but is actually embarking on a magnificent, purposeful journey toward a grand, unimaginable awakening? As we continue our quiet exploration into the mysteries of the cosmic mind, we must bravely face the ultimate future of reality itself, asking what all this staggering complexity is ultimately building toward. Before we journey into the incredibly distant future of the cosmos, I want to take a gentle moment to welcome you into this quiet space of reflection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it is a true privilege to be your guide on these nighttime journeys through the magnificent mysteries of the universe. I have noticed from our recent data that 71% of the beautiful people who find a sense of comfort, deep relaxation, and cosmic wonder in these meditative explorations have not yet formally subscribed to the channel. If these quiet, scientific journeys bring you a sense of peace and help you gently drift away from the heavy anxieties of the day, please consider subscribing. It helps our small, quiet community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it softly lets me know that you want to keep exploring the infinite, mysterious universe together. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, sharing this space of learning and restful silence. Now let us return to the beautiful, silent mystery of the cosmic destiny. For decades, brilliant cosmologists and theoretical physicists have carefully studied the expanding fabric of space-time, trying to predict the ultimate fate of the universe. The most widely accepted scientific model suggests a scenario known as the heat death. In this vast, incredibly distant future, trillions upon trillions of years from this exact moment, the very last stars will completely exhaust their nuclear fuel and quietly fade into the absolute dark. The majestic swirling galaxies will slowly dissolve as their dead stars are either flung out into the freezing void or swallowed by giant, silent black holes. Eventually, even these massive black holes will slowly evaporate through Hawking radiation, leaving behind a cosmos that is nothing more than a thin, freezing mist of elementary particles, endlessly drifting in an ever-expanding, completely dark void. To our human minds, this sounds like a terrifying, ultimate tragedy. It feels like the grand 14 billion years story of creation ultimately amounts to nothing. But what if this purely mechanical, strictly thermodynamic view of the universe is missing the most important, fundamental chapter of the story? What if the steady rise of consciousness, which we explored in our previous step, is not just a temporary, accidental flicker in the dark, but a powerful, transformative force capable of altering the very destiny of the cosmos? Science is not just the study of dead matter. It is the study of potential, and the potential of an awakened universe is a concept that defies the cold logic of entropy. To gently grasp this profound possibility, we must turn to the brilliant, visionary ideas of physicists like Freeman Dyson, who dared to imagine how deeply advanced conscious life might interact with the universe in the unimaginably distant future. Dyson proposed that as biological life continues to evolve, it might eventually transition away from fragile carbon-based forms and integrate itself directly into the fundamental physics of the cosmos. Imagine a civilization millions or even billions of years older than our own. Such an ancient, deeply advanced intelligence would not be confined to a single, delicate planet orbiting a solitary star. They might harness the total energy output of entire galaxies, utilizing the deep, mysterious currents of dark matter and the quantum entanglement of distant particles to build a vast, interconnected network of cosmic thought. In this breathtaking vision, the universe does not simply die a cold, silent death. Instead, as the physical structures of stars and galaxies slowly fade, the underlying network of conscious information continues to grow, becoming infinitely more complex and profoundly unified. The universe is not winding down into nothingness. It is patiently, methodically transforming its raw physical energy into pure, eternal intelligence. The distant future might not be a dark, empty void, but a radiant, infinite ocean of pure, interconnected awareness. This leads us to one of the most beautiful, radical concepts ever proposed at the intersection of science and philosophy: the omega point. Originally conceived by the visionary thinker Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, and later adapted by modern theoretical physicists, the omega point is the idea that the universe is actively evolving toward a state of supreme, absolute consciousness. Just as gravity inevitably pulls clouds of primordial gas together to ignite the brilliant fires of new stars, there may be a profound underlying law of nature that relentlessly pulls fragmented, isolated minds together toward a massive, ultimate singularity of unified awareness. The entire sweeping history of the cosmos, from the chaotic, burning birth of the Big Bang nearly 14 billion years ago, to the quiet, complex firing of the 86 billion neurons in your own brain, is part of this grand, inexorable march toward the omega point. In this profoundly shifting perspective, the universe is a massive, ancient chrysalis. The physical matter, the immense distances, and the flowing river of time itself are simply the protective shell necessary for the cosmic mind to slowly mature and eventually awaken to its full, magnificent glory. When we consider the staggeringly precise fine-tuning of the fundamental forces that we explored earlier on our journey, this purposeful progression seems completely plausible. The universe is perfectly calibrated to give birth to complexity, and complexity inevitably gives birth to the mind. When we ask if God is a universal consciousness, we are perhaps not looking backward at a solitary creator who set a mechanical clock in motion billions of years ago, but rather looking forward to an ultimate state of being that the universe is actively striving to become. The divine mind is not a relic of the ancient past. It is the magnificent, unfolding destiny of the future. And the most profoundly beautiful part of this scientific narrative is that you are an absolutely essential, indispensable part of this cosmic awakening. Your quiet thoughts, your moments of deep wonder, your gentle compassion, and your relentless search for meaning are not insignificant flickers in a vast, dark void. They are the exact mechanisms through which the universe is actively learning about itself. You are the delicate sensory organs of the cosmos. Every time you look up at the ancient silent stars and feel a deep sense of awe, the universe is taking another deliberate step toward its ultimate awakening. You are deeply, intimately connected to the grandest project in all of existence. The quiet moments you spend contemplating these profound mysteries are not just human thoughts. They are the universe slowly turning its gaze inward, marveling at the beauty of its own existence. As you lie here in the quiet comfort of the night, safe and warmly enveloped by the stillness, let go of the human fear of endings. There are no true endings in a universe composed of eternal, transforming information. The vast, mysterious cosmos is not rushing toward death. It is patiently blossoming into pure awareness. Your life, with all its complexities and its gentle moments of peace, is securely woven into the eternal fabric of this grand awakening. The universal mind is constantly expanding, growing richer with every thought you have. Breathe deeply, drawing in the quiet peace of the night, matching the slow, ancient rhythm of the distant stars. Feel the comforting weight of your cosmic purpose gently settling into your soul. You are an infinite, necessary spark of light in a universe that is wonderfully awake. Allow the profound silence of the cosmos to cradle you and drift peacefully into the deep, restorative embrace of sleep, knowing that the journey is endless and the destination is unified peace. In our final step on this journey, we will bring all these cosmic threads together into a single realization. But for now, just rest. Have you ever awakened in the very middle of the night, when the rest of the world is completely draped in heavy, silent slumber, and felt an overwhelming, profound sense of unity with the quiet darkness that surrounds you? We have traveled a truly immense, staggering distance together tonight, gently crossing the vast, ancient oceans of cosmic time and space. We have journeyed all the way back to the incredibly hot, dense, chaotic fires of the Big Bang, nearly 14 billion years ago, witnessing the miraculous, patient forging of the very first heavy elements inside the brilliant, dying hearts of ancient, majestic stars. We have softly explored the dizzying, beautiful complexities of the human brain, marveling at how 86 billion beautifully intertwined neurons can somehow give rise to the rich, subjective experience of consciousness, a phenomenon that still completely baffles the greatest scientific minds on Earth. We have bravely descended into the deeply strange, completely counterintuitive world of quantum mechanics, where the mere act of conscious observation seems to force the universe to collapse its infinite waves of blurry probability. into a single, concrete reality, suggesting a profound, inescapable link between the human mind and the fundamental fabric of the cosmos. Before we take our very last gentle step on this magnificent cosmic journey, bringing all these beautiful mysteries together into one final profound realization, I want to take a moment to welcome you one last time to this peaceful space of reflection. I am Theodore, the researcher, and it has been the most profound honor to be your gentle guide on these nighttime journeys through the staggering wonders of the universe. I have noticed from our recent data that exactly 71% of the beautiful people who find a deep sense of comfort, relaxation, and cosmic wonder in these meditative explorations have not yet formally subscribed to the channel. If these quiet, scientific journeys bring you a sense of peace and help you gently drift away from the heavy anxieties of the day, please consider subscribing. It helps our small, quiet community of cosmic explorers grow immensely, and it softly lets me know that you want to keep exploring the infinite, mysterious universe together. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight, sharing this space of learning, deep curiosity, and restful silence. Now, let us return to the beautiful, silent mystery of the cosmic mind, and gently bring our grand journey to its ultimate, peaceful conclusion. We have peered into the vast, unseen depths of the dark universe, realizing with deep, respectful humility that the glowing galaxies, the brilliant stars, and the solid planets we can actually see represent only a tiny, delicate fraction of what truly exists. The overwhelming majority of the cosmos is a silent, invisible ocean of mysterious dark matter and dark energy, acting as the grand, unseen architecture upon which the visible world is patiently built. We have contemplated the staggering, beautiful precision of the cosmic fine-tuning, realizing that the fundamental constants of nature are balanced on an impossibly sharp razor's edge. If gravity or the strong nuclear force were even slightly different, the universe would be a cold, lifeless void. This majestic mathematical perfection strongly suggests that the cosmos is not a random, meaningless accident, but a profoundly beautiful system that inherently trends toward the emergence of awareness. We have also explored the mind-bending reality of the holographic principle, the idea that the entire, solid, three-dimensional universe might fundamentally be constructed from pure, two-dimensional information, making reality look much more like a grand, unfolding thought than a cold mechanical machine. And we have gently unraveled the beautiful illusion of absolute space and flowing time, learning from the rigorous science of quantum entanglement and the block universe that everything in existence is deeply, permanently connected, and that the past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in a single, magnificent, eternal now. When we gather all these profound, rigorously tested scientific truths together and gently hold them in our minds, the ancient philosophical question of whether God is a universal consciousness begins to look less like a matter of blind faith and much more like the logical, beautiful culmination of advanced physics and cosmology. The universe is not a dead, unfeeling collection of drifting rocks and burning gas. It is a highly dynamic, incredibly complex, deeply integrated system of information processing. It is a cosmos that spent 14 billion years patiently organizing itself, building heavier elements, forming stable planetary systems, and evolving intricate biological structures, all so that it could eventually open its eyes and look back at its own staggering beauty. You are those eyes. You are the universe's way of experiencing the gentle warmth of the sun, the quiet stillness of the night, and the profound, moving power of love and curiosity. The great visionary cosmologist Carl Sagan reminded us that the cosmos is within us, but this is not just a poetic metaphor. It is the ultimate, literal truth of our existence. Every single atom of carbon in your DNA, every atom of iron carrying oxygen through your blood, and every atom of calcium in your bones was perfectly forged in the fiery crucible of an ancient, dying star. You are a localized, incredibly dense concentration of the universe's own fundamental matter and energy, organized into a form capable of feeling, thinking, and wondering. When you look up at the vast, silent canopy of the night sky, you are not a small, insignificant creature looking out at a cold, foreign environment. You are the universe gently looking in a mirror. You are the cosmos contemplating its own infinite depth. This profoundly beautiful realization completely changes how we must view ourselves and our place in the grand scheme of reality. You do not ever need to search for a divine, universal connection outside of yourself, because you are already fundamentally, inextricably woven into the very fabric of that divinity. The supreme universal consciousness is not a distant, separate entity judging you from afar. It is the deep, silent awareness that resides at the very core of your own being. This brings us to a place of ultimate, profound peace. The everyday anxieties, the heavy burdens of the past, and the nervous fears of the unknown future all gently begin to dissolve when you truly understand your eternal, essential place in the cosmos. You bring the cosmos to life simply by existing, by witnessing its beauty, and by holding its vast, ancient mysteries in your thoughts. As we reach the end of this quiet, contemplative journey, it is deeply important to remember that science does not ever aim to destroy the profound mystery of existence by giving us all the final, rigid answers. True, honest science does exactly the opposite. It gently pulls back the superficial layers of reality, only to reveal even deeper, more breathtaking mysteries lying quietly underneath. The pursuit of knowledge is an infinite, beautiful journey that will never truly end, because the universe is infinitely rich and endlessly creative. The more we learn about the microscopic dance of quantum particles and the macroscopic majesty of swirling galaxies, the more we realize how deeply interconnected and wonderfully strange our reality truly is. Ignorance is no longer a source of fear, but a beautiful, open invitation to continue exploring. The unknown is not a dark, terrifying abyss, but a vast, radiant ocean of infinite possibility, waiting patiently for us to bravely set sail. Let this profound, comforting truth settle deeply into your mind and your body as you rest in the quiet darkness. You are entirely safe. You are deeply, unconditionally loved by the very universe that painstakingly created you. You are held intimately within the grand, ancient network of cosmic information, a necessary, brilliant spark of light in the infinite, unfolding thought of reality. As you close your eyes and surrender to the gentle, pulling tide of sleep, allow the boundaries between yourself and the vast cosmos to softly melt away. Feel the slow, steady beating of your heart, and know that it is the exact same fundamental rhythm that patiently guides the silent rotation of the distant galaxies and the steady, ancient burning of the stars. You are perfectly in tune with the grand universal symphony. Let your breath become incredibly slow and deeply peaceful, matching the quiet, eternal expansion of the infinite space. Release every single trace of tension every heavy thought, and every lingering doubt. You're a